Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about Mercury in retrograde. And I know even as I say this, many of you out there are rolling your eyes so hard you probably gave yourself a headache because you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, is Mercury in retrograde again? It feels like we've been through a lot of these lately, and we have. But today I want to talk to you about what to watch for with this particular Mercury in retrograde. And I don't want to tell the story that we're going to let it affect us. Instead, I want to tell you how you can protect yourself and ward off any of the effects of this by simply calling on certain angels to help you for protection. But first of all, what exactly is Mercury in retrograde? I'm sure that you've probably heard of it before, and if you've listened to my podcast for a while, you know you've heard me talk about it before. But what it actually is when a planet is retrograde, it appears to be moving backwards in the sky from our point of view on Earth. It's not actually moving backwards, though. It's just moving more slowly than it once did. So it looks like, from our point of view, that it's going backwards, and that's why it's called retrograde. Whatever area of life that planet happens to represent becomes a little bit funky. Things become a little off for all of those areas. And because Mercury is the planet that governs communication, commerce, and travel, you can expect that when Mercury goes retrograde, it's going to cause a lot of difficulty in these particular areas. So you may notice that there seem to be a lot more extra miscommunication going on between you and a partner, you and your loved ones, you and your coworkers. You may have missed texts, emails, phone calls. This is really a strange thing, and believe me, this actually does happen. You know, I had a situation where I didn't receive a call, but then I saw that it was missed. My ringer was not off, it was not on low, but I just missed the call. And I couldn't figure out, what is going on. So sometimes Mercury in retrograde can cause you to miss texts, miss emails, or miss phone calls. And you should definitely be double and triple checking your schedule and calendar, because oftentimes what happens during Mercury in retrograde is that your time management skills start to suffer. So you'll realize that you've booked two people at the same time, or what happened for me is I've had clients not show up for different reasons, and then it's just been crazy like that. And it's not it's just one client. I had multiple clients miss their appointments, and they would say, oh, I forgot, and I'm thinking, okay, I get it. You forget, that happens, but to have so many in 1 month like that happen, it has to have something to do with this Mercury in retrograde. So extra patience is definitely required at this time, because it can be super frustrating to get the lines of communication, mumbled or jumbled and not understand what someone is trying to tell you. Another instance of that for me is when I work with a client, sometimes I always tell them, I'm in the central time zone, and their Zoom link should show up in their time zone, but then I'll still have people show up at the wrong time. And it happens, but it seems to happen a lot more often when we're in Mercury in retrograde. So it is a time where patience is totally needed. And another thing that happens when Mercury goes retrograde is that technology just goes haywire. I think the last time we had Mercury in retrograde, I was at school and our internet was down for almost the entire day. And let me tell you, if that were to happen now, it would be like teaching. Oh my goodness. Since we're having to do virtual learning, that would be a pain, a giant pain. And I can tell you personally that I recorded an entire podcast episode the other day, and I wanted to make a small edit. And when I did, the entire thing just disappeared. Could not find it at all. And I had another client that I had met with this client on Zoom, and I went to record it, and then afterwards I went to send them the recording, and the recording was just gone. It was just not there. Couldn't find it anywhere. And the weird thing was that I saw it. It was there when I originally went to send the client the recording, and I moved my mouse, and the thing just disappeared. I didn't click on anything. I don't know what happened. It was just gone. And I couldn't find it anywhere to try to retrieve it. I looked in the trash, I looked everywhere, and I thought, oh my gosh, like what is going on? So technology has been really kind of wonky for me lately. It's just not working right. Things are slow, weird things happen. I've had just different crazy things like tabs pop up, and I don't know, it's just hard to explain, but it's been very, very weird lately. Or sites that are always working and I can always count on, and then I go to them and they're not working, and you just get that spinning circle of death where nothing's happening and it's just loading. So technology is another issue that is affected for some reason, I guess because it's basically communication. It's a huge communication superhighway. So it gets affected during Mercury in retrograde too. You may notice that your Wi-Fi is slow, or again, that you might have things like I've had where files just disappear, or whatever happens. So extra patience is needed during times of working with technology during Mercury in retrograde. And I have heard other people too who've done, like on the YouTube channels, they've done videos, and they said that they were halfway through the video and it stopped recording. And so they had to splice two videos together because they had to do it separately because their video, just like 20 minutes of it, just didn't even record. And there was no reason for it not to record. But again, we all say, oh, Mercury in retrograde, there you go, there it is. So it can be super frustrating. When Mercury is in Scorpio, which is an emotional, mysterious, and intense sign, you take on more probing, psychological manners of thinking and communicating. It's great if you're studying or you're trying to make deep communication and connections with others, but this retrograde makes that more difficult. So you might start to realize during Mercury in retrograde that if you're a Scorpio, you're really overthinking. So it can cause overthinking, which we know is horrible anyway, but especially during this time, you may really try to overanalyze every little thing that happens. So if someone says something to you in a certain way, you may be sitting there trying to analyze what that person really meant when they said it, when maybe they didn't really mean anything at all by it, but because we're deep in this Mercury and Scorpio, you're like overanalyzing it. So I'm going to talk about now what your sun or rising sign, what issues you need to focus on for this Mercury in retrograde, like what it might be bringing up for you guys. So if you're an Aries sign, if you have Aries sun or rising, Mercury is asking you to focus on two things: intimacy and then taxes. So you might be having problems or miscommunications with your partner coming up, or you may have problems with intimacy with your partner. So maybe that is an issue, like there's never time, or the person's not in the right mindset for it, or whatever. And the other thing is that you need to be making sure that you are taking care of any outstanding debts. So those two things might be coming up for you if you are an Aries sun sign. Now, if you're Taurus, which I am, this retrograde is going to start off pretty, like it's going to be stressful for you, as it has been for me. But once it goes into Libra in a couple of weeks, it's going to get easier. But right now, the things that might be coming up for Tauruses are miscommunications and arguments, or other kind of shady stuff happening in your relationships. And this could be with your friends, with your business partners, whatever. So this could this could start bringing that kind of stuff up for you. And you may end up having a little bit of drama from an ex coming back in too. Don't blame me, I'm just the messenger. But I'm going to talk again later about how we can deal with this and how we can protect ourselves. So if you're a Gemini, work is a big priority during this retrograde. And it might be turning everything going on in your work on its head. You may have scheduling issues, missed calls, missed emails, arguments with coworkers, and maybe gossiping in the workplace. But right now it's time for you to just try to focus on the projects at hand and what you need to do. If it's possible for you to work from home, that would be a good idea right now too. But work seems to be on the forefront for all Geminis. If you're a Cancer, the retrograde will start off pretty easy. However, even though you might be avoiding a lot of the drama from the retrograde, it's time for you to look at yourself and look at the way that you are communicating in your love life. Cancers can be very loving and nurturing people, but even though you might love others, you may have a difficult time receiving love from others. And so now it's the time to start working on building up your confidence and learning how to love yourself so that you feel capable of being able to receive love from others. If you are a Leo, you might be finding it difficult to communicate your feelings to others during this time. And Leos are stubborn, but Scorpio is even more stubborn. So it makes it a lot easier for misunderstandings to happen, for little tiny arguments to explode into a big conflict, especially because a lot of people are sensitive right now. So it's time for you to protect yourself and make sure that you are listening to others' needs and not really causing huge drama and making every little thing out to be a big deal. All right, if you are a Virgo, Mercury is your ruling planet, which is all about communication. And so this retrograde is dedicated to communication. So it's important for you to really think before you speak, double check your emails for typos, and make sure you're sending the emails and texts to the right person, because I'm sure we've all been there, but sometimes you accidentally send a text to the wrong person and they're like, what? Was this meant for me? So make sure that you're double checking to make sure that you're sending things to the right people. If you are a Libra, you need to watch your wallet. You're not going to necessarily go broke, but you may be spending more money than you should be and getting away from the budget that you have and kind of running away with your spending. So just kind of keep an eye on that if you're a Libra. If you're a Scorpio, you may experience a lot of misunderstandings and miscommunications in your life, but Mercury is only in your sign until October 23rd. The next couple of weeks may be a struggle. It may feel like everything you say comes out wrong, or people really aren't understanding what you're trying to say, and it can be very frustrating. But again, try to make sure that you're listening and that you're very careful with what you say. If you're Sagittarius, exes, old friends, projects and jobs that have never been completed are coming back, which could be stressful and could also cause a little bit of drama, but that's okay. You don't have to, if an ex comes back, you don't have to take them back. But maybe just listen. Sometimes people come back and all they need is closure. And that's fine too, because closure helps us too. So listen to what the other person has to say, stand your ground and set a healthy boundary. And then, if it turns into this is something that could work out, that's great. If not, just allow them to have closure and then move on. And it's kind of a time for tough love, being tough and holding your boundaries. If you're a Capricorn, you might be paying way more attention to things that are going on with your group of friends, and there may be a lot of drama, and you may feel like you're in the middle and you have to be the peacemaker, but you need to look at the situation and say, is this worth my time? Do I want to let them drain my energy? Do I want to continue to be the middleman and continue to be the peacekeeper? Is that a job I'm willing to relinquish? So don't give away your energy too much to others. If you're an Aquarius, you may feel like the things that you're hoping to see right now, promotion, the raise, aren't happening, but it's telling you to have patience right now. You may just need to be making sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's at work because people are watching you, but that promotion and the hard work that you're doing, it will have huge results after the retrograde, but right now it might feel like nothing's happening. If you're a Pisces, you're getting nice harmonious vibes during this retrograde. It's also asking you to focus on areas of your life related to travel and higher education. But as we know, the other thing that Mercury in retrograde also affects is travel. So you may have delays, you may get flat tires, things like that. And again, we're not calling on this as if we're saying this is going to happen, because I'm going to talk to you in a little bit about how you can protect yourself. But if you've noticed these things have started happening to you, this is what's going on. So be diligent. If you're a student, make sure that you're getting your work done and maybe getting things turned in early, because again, Mercury in retrograde affects technology. So if you turn in your paper at 11:59 and all of a sudden the internet crashes or it doesn't send or it fails to whatever, you're going to panic. So make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of time to get through everything that you need to get through. So that's how this retrograde may have been affecting your sign specifically. But now I'm going to talk to you about what can you do? Do we just have to stand there and let it roll over us and get frustrated? No, we don't. There's a lot of things that we can do to protect ourselves. The number one thing that you need to make sure you're doing is make sure you're getting rest and that you're grounded and balanced, because when we're not any of those things, when we're not grounded, we can allow our emotions to just run amok. And so when something happens to you, you get super upset and you just start getting, out of control. I know that happened for me today. Like, I came into school and we had to do SAT testing yesterday, and we came in today and so here's another example of Mercury in retrograde. So they sent out an email yesterday to let us know that they were going to be using my room for 4 hours, and I had to move my students to other rooms for 4 different hours, which would have been nice to know yesterday. But they sent the email to my brother instead of to me, because our emails have the same last name and the address, but 1 letter difference. So I never got the email, and the person came in and was like, "You need to leave your room." And I had no notice, and I was super frustrated by that. But it ended up working out fine, because it only took 30 minutes for them to test, because the kids didn't write that much, so they were done, and I was able to go back to my room. And now, had I not been grounded and balanced, I would have gotten mad and upset and maybe said things that I would have regretted later, but I didn't. I said, okay, we'll deal with it. We'll just be flexible. So the best thing you can do right now is making sure you're grounded. So you can do that by clearing your energy, by doing meditations. You can do tappings. Make sure you're getting plenty of rest. If you take a shower in the morning, make sure you're doing that shower energy clearing, where you imagine that the water coming out of the shower head is like rays of energy that's cleansing you, and seeing all of the negative stuff going out and from the bottoms of your feet and into the drain. Doing affirmations is a good way to keep your energy clear and high vibrating. You can listen to music. Make sure you're getting plenty of sleep. Make sure you're trying to eat healthy or eat right, at least not totally binging on junk food, which I know it's almost Halloween, so that's probably not easy to do, but still. Just taking care of yourself and making sure that you're doing at least that much. Getting sleep, maybe getting some exercise, going outside, doing some grounding work. All of that is going to help you. But the other thing that you can do is to call on your spiritual team, especially when stuff starts to happen, because we're not expecting that things are going to happen. We're not telling that story that, this is going to happen to me because of Mercury in retrograde. But if stuff does start to happen, then you can recognize what's happening and say, okay, so this is Mercury in retrograde, it's fine. I'm going to call on my team for support. So you can work with specific angels about different things. So I'm going to talk about some of the angels you can work with, And then I'm going to give you some prayers that you can say when these situations pop up. So the first thing during Mercury in retrograde, they say that you shouldn't sign contracts. I'm not saying don't ever sign a contract, but make sure that you've read it and that you know they haven't tried to stick some sort of clause in there that's going to come back and bite you later on. So be careful when signing contracts. The other thing is commerce. This has to do with finances. So you might find that your finances, maybe you're spending too much and you're like, I don't know why I'm buying all these things. Or maybe you just feel like you don't have the money coming in right now that you usually do and something's going on. So if your finances are feeling a little bit off right now, what you can do is to say a prayer to specific angels to help you with your finances. Now, one of the angels I like to call on for abundance is Archangel Ariel, because that is what she specifically works with. So you can call on her to help you if you're experiencing issues with abundance and money problems and things like that. Here's a specific prayer that you can say if you're experiencing issues right now when it comes to your finances. So you can say, Divine Angels of Abundance, I am so grateful for the continued opportunities to create abundance in my life right now. Thank you for directing me to more. Because abundance can come in a number of ways. It doesn't just have to come in from your 9-to-5 job. So we could ask the angels to send in other ways for us to increase our abundance. And they could be ways to easily increase your abundance. You just need to ask, and they'd love to come in. Another thing is it's important to show gratitude whenever you are receiving. So another angel prayer is, thank you, angels, for the blessings in my life. I open my arms to receive the abundance I know I deserve. So when you feel like you're out of alignment, you feel like money just has been kind of strange for you and it's just not going the way it normally would, just close your eyes and say that prayer quickly and believe in it. Thank you, angels, for the blessings in my life. I open my arms to receive the abundance I know I deserve. And if you're having conflicts with people in your life, we can call on the angels to help that too. Archangel Raguel, Raguel, and Archangel Gabriel are really good in helping to resolve conflict and help us with communication. So call on Archangel Raguel to bring peace and harmony to any conflict. And then here's a quick prayer for creating peace. Thank you, angels of peace, for surrounding the situation with your light. Raguel, I am so grateful you are guiding all involved to harmony, and so it is. And I love that prayer. It's just very easy and also extremely effective. And of course, the angels want to help us, but we have to call on them. They have to know we need help. And then if you're traveling, we talked about travel plans can be getting messed up right now. Things can be delayed. I know I personally have a flight that I'm supposed to take in December, and we already got an email saying that the flight has been changed. And it's fine, I'm not going to panic about it. But here's a prayer for those who are traveling. And this is Archangel Raphael and Michael that you can call on. Thank you, Archangels Raphael and Michael, for safely guiding me on my journey today. I know that it's going to be a breath of fresh air as your wings envelop me in protection, comfort, and love, and so it is. So call on your team. Make sure that you are grounded and your energy is balanced. And if you do all of those things, even though Mercury in retrograde can be extremely frustrating and a pain in the you-know-what, you can still manage. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to pull a couple of cards for you today. So I pulled cards from the Heart Thoughts deck by Louise Hay. The first one is Forgiveness is a gift I give to myself. Forgiving frees me from the past and allows me to live in the present. When I forgive myself and others, I am free. I love that message. And forgiveness really is the gift that we give ourselves. And then we have, I heal myself on all levels. Wherever I am, there is a healing atmosphere. It blesses me and brings it blesses me and brings peace to me and to all those around me. So I love those beautiful messages. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here with me. As always, if you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please leave me a positive review from wherever you're listening. You can leave me some stars on iTunes. Please share this with others, as that helps me in my mission. Don't forget to follow me on social media. I go live Mondays at 6:30 Central on Facebook, where I do a free card reading. If you show up for the live, you will also receive a free card. I will pick a card for you. And if you host a watch party during the live, I will enter your name to win a free 30-minute card reading with me. Also, if you want to work with me, you can purchase a session from my website, melissaoatman.com. Go to the offerings page. There you'll see all the services I offer, and there's a description. You can purchase from that page, and then when you're ready to schedule, you can simply contact me. We will schedule your session. All sessions are done online through Zoom, so you can be in the comfort of your own home. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social media platforms. Also, don't forget my book, Beautifully Broken, is now available on audiobook. You can find the links to my social media platforms, to my book, and to my website from the show notes here. I hope that you guys have a beautiful day from wherever you're listening. As always, I am sending you so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.